I was scrolling through Twitter yesterday aimlessly, and I saw the title where the Mets and the Braves end up in a trade war over Brandon Drury, and I went, really?
I think you know what, Lauren, when I watch Brandon Drury, and Tom, I'll throw this to you, it doesn't seem like we're going to have, with no disrespect to the Wilson Contreras and Andrew Benintendi's, the huge blockbuster deals at the deadline. I just don't
trade Turner, Max Scherzer.
That's not happening, right?
But there's some winning pieces out
there. There is some winning pieces out there. We're going to talk about the Dodgers potentially with the outfield. I think Brandon Drury, when I watch him with Cincinnati, and last night, bad draw with Max Scherzer before we dove into this tape. But Eric Nays, researcher to the Stars, wanted to dive in on him because I mentioned when I look at Brandon Drury, I feel like, and I'm very self-deprecating, but I see a lot of myself. Everybody's timeline is different in this game. You know, you have the Harpers and the Machados that burst on the scene, and they are great from day one. Then you have the guys that take a little bit of a different path. And then sometimes just when you think you're getting your feet under you, you start getting traded all around the league. So you kind of can't grab who you truly are because your career becomes this big colander, and you're trying to filter out what you need to do to get better. And when I look at Brandon Drury, I think he's bet on himself a lot in the Cincinnati Reds uniform. And I see a guy who is starting to firmly, every time he gets in the box, know who he is as a player. All right?
Well, you did go through this, and a lot of that, too, as you know, is playing time.
Yes.
Regular playing time. That you could survive an 0 for 3 and don't feel like your job is on the line every day. This is a guy driving to spring training, thought he was going to sign with the Angels.
Right.
Right? Wait a second, we got a minor league deal with the Reds. He goes to the Reds on a minor league deal, and now look at him.
And he's been their best hitter, and I think at the deadline, a team would be lucky to grab him because I see him not only performing in big moments in the postseason, but a guy who's going to continue on in his career. So lock in on Brandon Drury this year. He's been the Cincinnati Reds' best hitter. And I just want to take you back. 2016, this guy comes up in 2015, mind you, with the Diamondbacks. And then in 2016, he goes 16 homers, 53 RBIs, getting his feet wet. That's a nice year, okay? Pause this real quick. 2017, he backs it up with 13 and 63 with a 267 batting average. Not bad. Not bad. And then the next thing you know, he gets traded to the Yankees, and he's going to be their starting third baseman. And I don't even know maybe if he believed he was ready for that.
The Yankees did, though. They saw something there. They
Phil Nevin had him in the minor leagues. There was something there, but it didn't go according to plan. He had the migraines. He dealt with some stuff. Okay, so then I fast forward 2018. You can run this with the Yankees. He's there for a split second, and he goes to Toronto. And what's the moniker in Toronto? It was always offense, offense, offense. Hit or get left behind. And what happened right around that 2019? Everybody starts trying to tinker. He's like, I don't think 260 with 15 is going to work anymore in today's game. I'm watching monsters drive the ball out of the lot. And he starts falling in love
launch angle
with changing.
Yeah.
Okay? So run this real quick. It's subtle. Pause. Get me back to where you can see him creating lag with his bat. Back one more. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. Okay, I want you to look at his head and his left shoulder. And I want you to see the torque in his hands and how he's creating almost this gap-to-gap mentality, right? I'm trying, no matter what my lower half is doing, Tom, I am staying, this front shoulder is staying closed, and I'm letting my swing take it out. As opposed to, right here, it's subtle in 19, staying on his backside a little bit more. That left shoulder starts scooting towards those fans in the third base dugout there, and you almost get this rotational, I'm trying to drive everything out to left field. And I get it. You hit in the cage in Toronto, you got all those guys going deep. The Rogers Center is one of the best places to hit in the entire baseball, and he hits 15 homers, 41 RBIs, but his batting average goes in the toilet. 218. Okay. Says to himself, I'm at a crossroads in my career right here. Who am I? What am I? Am I a backup? Am I an everyday guy? Pause this real quick. Goes to the Mets, swallows his pride, and has a monster year off the pine.
Especially pinch hitting, coming off the bench.
Got back to who he was. Line drive, gap to gap. This guy's a freakish athlete. I can tell he can probably drive the ball out in BP, 5 o'clock, wherever he wants, but it doesn't work. That mindset doesn't always work in the game for him. He got back to who he was in Arizona, and the numbers have been there. Run this real quick. And he is hammering off speed. We chronicle so many of the game's greats hitting the heater. Look at him stay through that baseball against Arizona. J-Mac, bring up the board. I know I missed a few early. Bring up the slug on non-fastballs, if you can. I think it was the third one we talked about. Take a look at this. Highest slug on non-fastballs this season. Jordan. I mean, it's the game's elite. We just saw Austin Riley take a curveball dead down the right field line. And Brandon Drury with a 6'10" right there. It's just amazing what he's been able to become. Keep it rolling for me real quick. We'll get back into it, and then we'll get out of here. I'll let Tommy talk a second. Now bring up what he does by pitch type. After this awesome shot. Seasons by split type, by pitch type. Okay, take a look at him right now. The home runs are going crazy. He's got more homers on non-fastballs than he does off the heater. But I'm seeing a guy, and we're going to get into one more side-by-side because he's reverted back to what he's done in Arizona when he first came up. 2017 next to 2022 in Dodger Stadium. And what do we see all the time? So many guys, Lauren, Robert, we talk about it, the evolution of a hitter. They start to get more into their most athletic position, which is feet shoulder width apart, creating that torque, trusting where your bat head is, run this, and staying more gap to gap instead of worrying about launch angle and creating fly balls. His swing naturally is going to do that. There is nobody who chops down on the baseball in today's game anymore. You have a little bit of uptick in your swing. But I see a guy who not only can help a team in the postseason, I see like the next 3 to 5 years, this is a 20-homer guy, 80-ribby guy, move around the lot for you.
I see some DeRo in that swing there.
I do.
Because you hit over your front side a little bit too.
I did.
Right?
I was off my front side a little bit.
Yeah, but those numbers against the non-fastballs really jumped out at me. You have to obviously have really good balance to do that. What he's done this year is he's backed up the baseball. He's made a conscious effort. The one you showed in Toronto, perfect case of that. Front shoulder leaves a little bit because why? You want to catch the ball out here, right, to pull the baseball. He's backing up the baseball here now. Fastball's hitting out the other way, and now he's catching off speed here. So he's not out front.
He talked about, it's unbelievable you say that, because he talked about doing a drill where he actually hits and stops.
Pete Alonso does that as well. And all it does is work on getting the path to the ball, right? You're not worrying about the follow through, how high, how I roll my wrist or not. You're worried just about
point of contact should be.
Point of contact, A to B. And it's actually angles. You're working angles to the baseball. And for him, it's making sure the contact is right here instead of right here. Because, you know, out here, you can catch something out and hit it to the pull side, but you're so vulnerable to swing and miss on anything off speed. So when I saw that number you had there on non-fastballs, he's doing a great job. Set up. His dad is a hitting coach. They worked that all winter long. Back up the baseball a little bit more. You think about Miguel Cabrera, Aaron Judge, all these great hitters. Paul Goldschmidt.
Who's given up the 2 prospects for Brandon Drury, Lauren?
I don't know, but I was just thinking some of the guys come on here and they say they want to meet the ball in front, and some of the guys want to let the ball travel. It's just
That's why we talk about it. There's not one way to do it. There's a million.
Yeah, someone on Twitter just tweeted the show saying the Dodgers could be a landing spot.
With Chris Taylor down.
For Brandon Drury, that's right.